This is the CT Sports Talent Show. My name is Chris Saunders, and I'm pleased to have on two of the St. Paul Falcons football program players with me as we're doing a little bit of a recap as I have the last couple episodes since the NVL is on a bye, except St. Paul, however, does play Derby, but we'll do a little bit of a recap. It's a makeup game from the beginning of the year when we had the thunder and lightning and the rain and all that. And I have two, as I mentioned before, St. Paul players with me. First, Matt Bishop, who's on the line, and also inside linebacker as well. Matt, say hello.
Matt.
And also, I have Artem Pulverari with me, and I hope I said that right. You got to say it
Yep.
really quick. He plays in the offensive line and defensive line as well. Artem, appreciate you coming on, man.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
You know, it's great to be able to have because I've said many times when you have the New Canians and even like the Naugatucks, right? The teams that have those high win totals, everybody wants to talk to them. But there are other players, there are other programs, and to be able to have conversations with other teams outside, even if the wins are not there, it's awesome to be able to have that. First, I'll go to Matt here really quick. Looking at kind of last year in retrospect, right? Seeing a lot of the growing pains that you guys had and now coming into this year, would you say that you've seen the strides now that you've seen not only the players kind of make the growth, but also being a part of, Chanch's program now, who he's been the head coach now for a couple of years?
Yeah, I would say especially offensively because he's the offensive coordinator. He's been
Mhm.
uh, been there for the past couple of years. We've been building on it every year, and then right from the jump, we've focused on the old plays we had, but now we're able to put in new stuff and new formations, and everyone's really getting it and clicking. On the
Mhm.
defensive side of the ball, we had a new defensive coordinator come in, but Coach Crandall, he's really got us together and playing well as a defensive group,
Mhm.
and the kids are responding well.
I'll go to Arden here, and because I mentioned Chance, and he played for Watertown, and I'm pretty sure he played offensive line. I could be wrong, but I feel like that's the kind of position that because it starts out up front, right? I've talked to many coaches that have said if we don't have a strong offensive line, we cannot succeed, especially running the football and just giving your quarterback time. Do you feel like that he's been a big component of that in terms of the offensive line for St. Paul and their growth?
Yeah, definitely. I think he said when he was in college at Springfield they ran the triple option, so he
Yep.
knows the exact same steps and footwork that we need to show us at practice. So it's like we get firsthand every day.
So you guys are running the triple option this year.
Yep. Yeah.
So, and I'll stick with Arden here. I've always compared the triple option to like an orchestra, right? And I've said this many times. If one thing is off, the whole thing is bad, right? So
Yeah.
there's so much, and for people who may not know, and you guys can describe it more because you guys are part of it, the offensive
Mhm.
line and such. But it's like it's the turns, it's the signal calling, it's where to go. Like if Arden goes this way and Matt, you go the other way, and you guys are supposed to go in the same direction, that can mess up the entire play. So, Arden, first with you, talking about the triple option, kind of some of the growth that you guys had to do this year with it.
So definitely we had a lot of returners this year. So they ran it last year, but it's definitely like the first week we
Mm-hmm.
really just break it down and go through our steps for the first week. So like
Mm-hmm.
we get start like going quicker, and I like by week one everybody's got it down. You just got to know your job, what to do, and we
Mm-hmm.
go over it a lot during practice.
I'll go to Matt next. Was there any, I don't want to say frustration, but because obviously it's an offense that you have to run almost perfectly, right? Otherwise, a lot of bad things could happen. Was there ever points during the beginning of the preseason, and even because you guys did not play Derby that week one game, as far as kind of itching to kind of wanting to get past the beginning stage, but you know that you had to do that in order to watch the offense continue to grow. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure, because the older players know what's going on and know what to do, but we have younger freshmen and sophomore on the line, and at skill positions, so they really needed to hammer down the basic fundamentals, and we got it all together.
I'll go to Arden next. What was some of the stuff that Coach Chanch was talking about with you guys as the new season was starting to begin? What was some of the stuff he was saying?
We just needed to be like more vocal leaders, and we also needed to show leaders. So like, I guess just like bringing the team closer together, more of a family than a team, and having the leaders for the younger kids to follow in the right footsteps.
Now, and I'll stick with Arden here. With you guys being seniors, and if I didn't mention that before, you both are seniors. You are, I think, chances rather first class, right? As far as seeing all the way through, right?
Yep.
This is
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
third year, right?
He jumped in my sophomore year, but
Yep.
we didn't play my freshman year because it was the COVID season, so it was like 7-on-7. So
Right.
yeah, we were his first team basically.
So seeing the class kind of all the way through, you not only know what the expectations are, but like Matt mentioned, with a lot of the younger players and with it being a smaller team, I would think that can kind of help as far as where it's not like it's 100 kids and you're having to explain it 5,000 times, right? It's really kind of like a close knit group.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. Like Matt and I being there from when he started, we know like how he works and how he wants stuff to be done. So he has like two more coaches basically to
Uh-huh.
help the kids out and show them how it's done.
I'll go to Matt next. Obviously, when you have new players and such, some may kind of wonder, like, oh, why hasn't St. Paul been able to do this or that? And I'm sure the first thing you may hear, maybe you don't, but on the outside, it's like, oh, why doesn't St. Paul have the same success as like basketball on the boys or the girls side, or soccer or baseball, right? A couple years removed from a championship. Um, like, what's the kind of answer that you would give to the young players if they were to ask that?
I would say because football is different than every other sport. It's a real team game. You need 11 to do the right thing, especially in our offense. And those little mistakes add up. But we're trying our hardest to put it together. It's a real team effort.
Hmm. Have you noticed, and I'll stick with Matt here, have you noticed either Chanch or maybe yourselves, not to say that the recruitment side, but trying to kind of branch out with the program a little bit and try to show that there's more to it than just kind of, because I have seen the growth of you guys from Chance's first year till now. I have seen it. Have you been able to kind of show that to people or tell that to people?
Yeah, we have, especially through our team bonding in the preseason. We, go out with the team and do
Mhm.
fun games like mini golf or bowling. And that's like all throughout our school. Everyone knows about it. And yeah, we're just trying to get new players.
I'll go to Arden next. Now, who's the better mini golfer? Who is it amongst the group?
Definitely not me. I'm not a mini golfer. I'm not the little light contact guy. I'm all power. So not me.
So basically, you're like the who was it the golfer who just had the long drive. He just had a
Yeah.
monster swing.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking
I'm just
about?
ripping it
Bochambeau,
up.
whatever his name is.
Yeah, I'm just ripping it up there. I'm not going
Okay.
to
So then, who's the good mini golfer? Then you didn't answer that question. Who's the best one?
probably Brady, right?
Yeah, probably our quarterback.
Probably
Brady.
Brady, yeah.
It's always the QB ones, right?
It's gotta be, yeah.
Because I'm telling you, because I play baseball, right? They're like the starting pitchers, where they just know that they have 1 day a week to be able to pitch. The other 4 days, they're golfing.
Yeah.
I'm telling you. And then they become masters at that, right?
Yeah.
That's
And,
so
and the
funny.
quarterbacks always have that competitive mindset.
This is also very true. This is also very true on that. I'll go to Matt next. I appreciate you guys coming on. So far, St. Paul is 1-3. Technically, if you think about it, could have been even 2-2. The Crosby lost, the closest one, the overtime loss. I was talking with you guys a little bit before that. What kind of, not to say what went wrong, but what didn't go right in that game that you guys tried to fix as you head into the Derby game this week?
We really focused on our kickoff team. We subbed out some players, subbed some new players in. We really just want to hammer down that we can't let up points on special teams, especially after scoring, because that shifts the tide. And we could have rode that momentum, but they took it right back.
I'll go to Arden next. As far as the coaching staff and Chance, specifically, what gets him like juiced up? Is it on an inside contain where you're holding on to the guy? Is it on run plays where you're just because I know offensive linemen, you love going forward. You hate pass, you hate pass protecting, right?
Yep.
What kind of gets the staff juiced up?
I gotta think, yeah, I think the big push on the offensive line,
Mhm.
or I mean Matt last week we were at Roby, he just cracked, filled the hole and cracked the kid. And everybody, all the coaches were jumping. Coach Joe was high stepping down the sideline. So he was juiced up after that one. So
I hope he didn't pull a hammy because he's getting.
yeah, I know. We thought he was going to.
Well, he's young. He can handle it.
Yeah, I mean, we're both 30, but you could also a lot of wear and tear on our bodies through sports.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll go to Arden next here. Just kind of looking at this team and obviously the triple option. I want to talk about the defense a little bit. What kind of strides has the defense made? Because I know some of the scores have been a little bit high, but over the last couple, they've been a little bit lower. So kind of talk to me about that.
Yeah. I think we had really good like opponents the first two games, Torrington and Naugatuck, but we still played our game, and we knew that like playing better opponents that our defense would stand out, and our defense has been great the past two games that we played. And I don't know, it's just the new defense with Coach Crandall was working for us, and I think the kids are starting to find their role in the defense and figure out their spots and know what to do.
Is that the biggest thing? And I'll stick with Arden here. With the new defensive coordinators, you said, and kind of maybe either new terminology, new scheme, like what were you guys last year to this year? 3-4, 4-3, anything like that?
I think we're in the same, right?
Well, last year we were more in a 4-3,
Yeah.
but this year we flipped it to a 3-4,
Yeah.
and it's been working out well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Coach Crandall, he's making it very easy for us to understand.
Okay.
Walkthroughs and film, and I mean everybody's clicking on very easily. So.
Well, that's good that it didn't change as much. Now, obviously, 4-3-3-4, a little bit different, but not to the degree. And, I'm sure the DC is trying to keep the language as simple as possible, especially because he's new, I would think, right?
Yeah, definitely. It's not very complicated.
Well, that's good. Because I've seen some DCs in college, obviously different level. They're new and they're throwing out like 8,000 things pre-snap.
Yeah, no.
And
nope, not for us.
I feel so bad for the kids. I'm like, how do you remember all that? It's ridiculous. All right, I'll go to Matt next. Obviously, I mentioned before, you guys do have Derby coming in this week. So technically not your bye week, but still, hopefully a lot of people will show up to the game. We know I saw, Brian McLean, and he's a whiz kid, right? I mean, he's a track star for a reason. You don't have to release as far as the player that you used as the decoy, but how's it been trying to mimic his speed to a degree, knowing that he's going to be the main person to focus on against Derby?
Well, we pretty much just took our fastest kid and put him there on scout team, and we've been trying to run him around all the time. We got pursuit drill, and we had him running back and forth because we know he could do that, and he could cut back very easily with his speed.
I'll stick with Matt here. Now, you mentioned the pursuit. Is that something that the staff is screaming, like pursue over and over?
Yeah, especially in team, he wants everyone to the ball, all 11 hats, because not only is he fast, but he could break tackles. He's not going down easy.
I'll go to Arden next. Now, obviously, with you being the big guy, I'm sure he's going to want to avoid you, especially if you're not close. So, not to say that you're not fleet of foot, but this kid's quick. I mean, he can make anybody look bad. So if he gets, like, are you going to try to stay within your side? Like, almost basically what I'm saying is you want to contain, right? And you want to go, do your assignment. So if he's going to get past you, do you know in the back of your mind, like, okay, if he gets past me, I'm not going to bail out and leave a bigger gap because I know my Matt or whoever is going to make sure that they come in and know their assignment. Does that make sense?
Yeah, so I'm at nose guard, but I know like I have the trust in Matt and our other linebacker that like if I'm in the other hole, that the other hole is going to be filled. But also if he gets outside of contain, I know I have to be on pursuit because he cuts back a lot, and I'll be there to make the play.
Now, with you being at nose guard, obviously you're probably basically right at the center, right?
Yeah.
So you probably love the A gap between the center and the guard. Is that kind of your bread and butter, or are you more of a B gap guy?
No, I like the A gap.
A gap? Okay, I figured that. Because that's actually go up against the center because like you're probably in the best position, Arden, because as soon as the ball is hiked, you're probably right on.
Shooting off, yep.
Yeah, exactly. So that's awesome. I'll go to Matt next here. As the season, I mean, it's crazy how the season's flying by. There's only 5 games remaining. Obviously, we with both of you being seniors, as far as football is concerned, that's starting to wind down. Has that started to kind of come into your mind yet?
Not really, I would say, because we're just trying to focus week by week. We have an opponent every week, and we just gotta, build for them and look forward to them because we got to stay focused and we got to win more games when it comes down to it.
Arden, same question for you.
Yeah, not really. I think, like Matt said, we're going week by week. Haven't looked too far to the back of the season, but we're dreading it. We don't want it to come to an end. St. Paul's great.
I think what you guys have done on the field and off the field hopefully can carry over to the next class, right? As I mentioned, your chances first class for all the way through from sophomore year on. So hopefully, that can continue. One question last for each of you. First with Arden, I know you play basketball, so obviously you're going to have another season to be able to play. I don't know if you play any spring sports, right? Or is it just
Yeah, I play baseball too.
Oh, you play baseball too? Awesome. So then
Yeah.
you'll be able to play with Vic. Vic's my
Yeah.
former coach back in the day for Legion Ball.
Oh,
Back
really?
so yeah, we were nasty. And then they folded. So, but anywho, that's another story. So the fact that you're able to kind of play the next two, sports seasons in the winter and the spring, does it not so much as you said, you're not thinking about it. I feel like that's kind of a good thing, right? Because you're going to be able to have an opportunity to be able to finish your senior year on a high note, hopefully, with both football and then obviously basketball and baseball. What says you?
Yeah, definitely. But just football is different. It's a different family in the locker room, different friends. So I'm definitely gonna miss it after the season. And I'm not looking forward towards the end, but I know there's more after the end of football season.
I got to ask, has Vic ever asked you to sack somebody during a baseball game?
No, not yet. Not yet.
Well, what position do you play in baseball? First base?
First base. First base. Yep.
I would love to see him put you a catcher and see anybody try to truck you. I would love to see what happened. We know that.
They would be on the ground.
Oh, 100%. You'd be just standing like, why are you on the ground?
Yeah, exactly.
So funny. Matt, now I'll go to you. Do you play any other sports besides football?
I play lacrosse in the spring.
Yes, I know lacrosse is a big thing at St. Paul. Very good sport. And I know that's also too, correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but isn't lacrosse kind of one of the most growing sports over the last 5 years in Connecticut?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
So you have an opportunity to be able to play another sport. So football will not be the end all to be all. So with lacrosse, real quick, correlating that to football, has that been kind of like a give and take thing? Because there's kind of the same similarities with both as far as footwork and timing and all that.
Well, yeah, I started last year. The big man, Eric Suzio, he recruited me to play.
Did he?
I really enjoyed it. I got to start basically throughout the whole year, and it really helped with conditioning, footwork, and really working on body position, aggressiveness. And it was fun.
Well, it's funny you mentioned Sue's playing, I think, at Eastern, right? Where's he playing now?
Yeah.
Eastern, okay. I remember it was right after, I think, the Xavier game when Xavier beat Kennedy in the quarterfinal, if I remember right. He told me, he was like, watch out for Arden for football. And that's when I met you for the first time, Arden. And then obviously Matt met you now as well. So, and Sue's was, obviously he was football player, basketball player, lacrosse. You talk about a 3-sport athlete.
Yeah.
The kid did it all. So, and now he's focusing on lax. So, how's he doing at Eastern? Do you guys know by any chance?
Yeah, we saw him Sunday. We
saw him the other day.
Saw him this week. He's doing good.
Does he still have the flow, the long hair?
He does. He's got it. He has to.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't picture him without the
I remember he cut it. I think our sophomore year. He walked into the gym and nobody knew who it was.
Yeah,
really, who is this kid?
You gotta tell him don't cut it off. Just keep growing it.
Yeah.
Because at some point the hair's gonna go back and then he can't get it back. But hey, Matt, Arden, first I'll go to Matt. Appreciate you coming on, buddy. It was a lot of fun. Best of luck this football season. Also, good luck against Derby.
Thank you for having us.
Arden, I appreciate you coming on, being able to set this all up. Best of luck the rest of the season. I'll be seeing you during basketball season. And hopefully, if everything works well, maybe we could be able to broadcast a couple baseball games on the radio because that'd be fun.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Always. That wrap things up here on the CT Sports Talent Show. So until next time, stay safe. Remember, CT stands for Connecticut Talent. I'm going to find them all. Enjoy the show, everybody, and be well.